Yeah, I think it's really cool to bring influences from elsewhere into metal to make it more tasty. I think it's especially with vocals. I think like pop has a lot of talent, and there's a lot of super like skilled singer making awesome lines. And
Mm.
if you combine this with the power of the metal elements and on top of this the symphonic stuff, it's just really like it's sweet.
Hear me. Nothing can stop the fire in the heart of the broken one. Fear me. If your destiny is linked to mine, one more time I sing. Oh.
What's going on, everybody? We are here today with the beautiful Melissa Bonny from the amazing band Ad Infinitum. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Life is great over here. Life is great. But first and foremost, let's just jump right into it. I saw a rumor online. Is it true that you've been training vocals since you were 8 years old? Is that true? Like you've been vocally trained?
Yeah, actually, I've started singing in the choir when I was around 6. And yeah, I mean, I've been doing this, and then I've been doing some projects here and there. And then when I was how old, maybe 18 or 20, I started to take private vocal lessons from a vocal coach who was also into rock and metal. So it was really useful and interesting.
Right, right. So, okay, if I could just give you a little backstory here. First of all, I want to say Napalm Records is, I mean, they produce incredible talent, but our subscribers have said, listen, check out these bands, check out these bands. Then they brought up you guys, and it's like, okay, we're expecting some death metal, straight screaming. Then we get this beautiful young lady on there, and would it be fair to say power metal? Is that okay? Would that be fair to call it power metal?
Yeah, I guess it's a mix between symphonic metal, power metal, and some other stuff in there.
Tell me about it.
Well, we started this project. I mean, I started it in 2018, and it was meant to be a solo project at first. And I started working with this producer on the album. And halfway through the songwriting process, I decided that I really, really wanted to bring it on stage. But I didn't want to be, I didn't want it to be just me and hired guns. I really wanted to have bandmates who are also invested. And so, yeah, it became a band halfway through the songwriting process. Now we're already releasing our second album. Yeah.
Right. So that's on Unstoppable, and you have to forgive me for not checking out previous work that you guys have done, because it's all in the hand of our subscribers. But listening to Unstoppable, first and foremost, I want to know, do you write your lyrics? Do you write the lyrics?
Yep, I do.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that, Melissa. So here's one line in there that being a rapper myself, and my partner Smokey, we're really big on lyrics. So the fact that you wrote these lyrics, I just need to know what you meant when you came up with this. In the song Unstoppable, you say, "My sorrows killed and buried. Now I harmonize with the stars. I glow in my darkness, not afraid to shine anymore." Those are freaking bars, dude.
Thank you.
Bars.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad you say this. It means a lot. In the lyrics, sometimes I get inspired by history or themes that are not personal, but these particular lines, it comes from the heart. It's sometimes you're discovering what you're able to do, and you're kind of shy about it, and you feel like you have to respect some kind of hierarchy, or
right.
I don't know exactly how to explain, but this feeling of, I'm not shy anymore about glowing, and about, the also the negative sides of what brought me here and what built me, because it's what built me, and now I'm not afraid to shine anymore.
Right. It's almost like you don't regret anything in your past, because it made you who you are today, right?
Yeah.
Man, see, I can relate to that so much, because, hearing Unstoppable for the first time, I just want to say, before we go into the lyrics a little further, the guitarist, that dude is phenomenal. That dude,
he is.
He is great. But the reason I can relate to it is because in that line, you specifically said, my sorrows killed and buried. Now I harmonize with the stars. With me, whenever I go through sorrows, I try to bury those sorrows by doing lyrics. Would you say you do the same thing?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of healing through the lyrics. When I say my sorrows killed and buried, it's like, like I said, it's sometimes you want to forget about them, and you want to forget about the darkness or the these things that you're not proud to expose.
Right.
And really right here is like, no, because you know what, that's why I'm here.
Right.
And sometimes you think that you kind of have to hide those things from people, to have this perfect image and whatever. And I think it's also important to acknowledge that this is what brought you here.
Expound on that. Well, when you say this is what brought you here, are you referring to the aspect as if, everything in the past has brought you to this moment? Is that what you're meaning when you say that?
Yeah, I think in a weird way, everything that's, when you could have turned left, but you turned right. There's so many things like this. I don't know. I feel like you can relate, but there's some people that you meet so randomly and that end up having such a big impact on your life that it's crazy. When you think, like, for example, if you would not have gone to this party or just to this concert, you would not have met that particular person.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's crazy because have you ever heard of the simulation theory? Do you know what that is?
Wait, I heard about this, but I'm not sure anymore.
So it's basically what you're saying. Like, you woke up this morning, and let's say you were putting on your makeup, and you might have started with the right eye instead of the left eye. But if you had started with the left eye, maybe this wouldn't have happened. I mean, it literally, it translates to everything happening for a reason. And I can honestly tell, looking at your discography, you have been in many of bands. So, and literally you could have made a left turn and maybe none of this would have happened. It's incredible.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, all right, let's start from the beginning. Am I correct? The band Even More, you started in 2012? Yeah,
exactly.
How did that come to be?
This is exactly what I'm talking about. And this is kind of a personal story. I don't think I've ever told this in an interview. It's pretty fun, but okay, let's go. I joined this band because the guitar player is the best friend of a guy I dated for a couple months.
Okay.
Randomly. And this guy brought me into metal, introduced me to the guitar player of that band. I started playing metal because of all this. And then the rest is history.
Well, it's so crazy because, like we were just talking about, you could have made a left turn and you maybe were not in there, I
could have swiped left instead of right,
Exactly, dude. Exactly. But Melissa, what I find so interesting about, because you're still young, you're 28, I think now, 28, 29. Okay. You went from Even More to Rage of Light, to Dragonland, to Serenity. I mean, you did vocals for all these workings and Beneath My Sins. Why so many bands? What made you jump around?
I think this, when you start a career, you kind of have to, you cannot just say, oh, my first project is going to be the thing that's going to bring me where I want to go. And I knew, for example, with Even More that you mentioned before, I knew that we didn't all have the same expectations. Some of my former bandmates were just there for the fun and they just wanted to play a few gigs. Right. And me, I really wanted to go much further in music. So you start collaborating with other people to expand your horizons and to experience more things and to get to know more people. And first of all, it's fun because you have a lot of time when you're in a small band. Mm-hmm. It's not like your schedule is packed. So it's nice to collaborate with other people and to do some different music as well. And I think it really brought me to where I am today because people got to know me through my first band or my second band or a collaboration here and there. And then it's when things start to take off that you kind of reduce the collaborations because you don't have the time anymore. Like right now, I'm barely doing anything else than my own band.
So with that being said, would you say that your popularity grew being with Ad Infinitum, or did it start from the very beginning when you were with Evanmore? When did the fame started coming? When did you start to get recognized?
I don't know. I think that's Rage of Light is a big part of it, because we started to produce a lot of content online. Like we were originally just a studio band creating videos, and the videos started to attract more people, and more people were interested in the band, and by extension in me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really the thing that made my career take off at some point.
It's so crazy because you being Swiss, being from Switzerland, was there, okay, in America, and see, with me, it's different for me, because if you would have played any kind of symphonic metal, power metal, death metal, any kind of metal 5 years ago, being a rapper from Atlanta, Georgia, I'd be like, no, turn it off. But now listening and actually sitting down and analyzing the music and being, when our subscribers, told us to check out Unstoppable, I'm like, dude, this chick reminds me a lot. Okay, don't kill me for this, Melissa. But have you ever been? Don't kill me for this. I'm sorry. Have you ever been compared to Nightwish ever?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I thought, you know what? I thought you were gonna say something completely different. So I was like, okay.
Wait, where'd you think I was going with that?
Because there's some people. No, but okay. I think that's very interesting, because you're somehow on the other side. So there's some people in metal who say, "Oh, you remind me of Beyonce," or you're like,
I didn't even think of that. Dude, you're the Beyonce of metal. I didn't even think of that.
Oh my God.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's what I wanted to say. So it's funny that you actually compare me to another metal singer. It's yeah.
Well, see, that's a shout out to the Trash Talkers, but being introduced to Ad Infinitum, I don't know why that word is so hard for me to say. I will say, who came up with the name of that band? Just curious. Ad Infinitum.
It's actually me, because Ad Infinitum means to infinity and in Latin. Yeah, and beyond.
Wow. So did you do that strategically? Because, I mean, maybe it's just me being a Southern boy, but yes, we know infinity. But when you see it, it's like, even though it's two words, it's one word, Ad Infinitum. That's how we would say it in the South. But did you do that strategically, because, hey, this is a hard word to say, it's going to stand out? Did you do that strategically? No,
not at all. It's just because I liked it. I liked the meaning behind it. And I thought it was nice. There's a lot of bands who try to combine words in English to make something, very powerful and strong. And I thought, no, I want to do something a little bit different. Because I just liked it.
You just liked it. So, all right. I've got notes here, but I'm going to throw these notes away, because now the personal conversation begins. So growing up in Switzerland, I guess there's a power metal scene out there, but who were your inspirations growing up? Like, who did you listen to? And I'm talking about middle school, high school. Who'd you listen to?
Oh my God. All right. So I started listening to metal pretty late. Like I was 18, I think. Before that, I was into, I'm still into all sorts of music, but back then I was more listening to, I was at some point a big fan of Rihanna or Shakira. I honestly, all those like pop R&B, Lady Gaga or Britney Spears. When I was younger, Britney Spears, the Spice Girls. So I really went through every genre until I found my place in metal.
So you found, now that you bring that up, hearing, that you were a fan of, the Shakiras, the Britney Spears, the Rihannas, the Beyoncés, it's literally brilliant that because I can hear the inspiration in your voice. I can hear it in your lyrics. I can hear that you pulled from those artists and then you bring it to metal and then you put it together and you produce fire. I can see it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's really cool to bring influences from elsewhere into metal to make it more tasty. I think it's especially with vocals. I think like pop has a lot of talent and there's a lot of super like skilled singer making awesome lines. And if you combine this with the power of the metal elements, and on top of this, the symphonic stuff. It's just really like, it's sweet.
Yes, you said the perfect word. You said tasty. That I've never heard anyone describe a music as tasty. That's great. But you being vocally trained since the age of 6, did you think you would end up here?
No, because first of all, in my education and childhood, it was never an option to be a professional singer. It was more like a hobby. So I went through a lot of personal questions before deciding to be a professional musician. I actually worked in offices for like 10 years before I decided that it could be a career.
Right.
So never, ever I imagined to be a professional singer back then.
Man, so with you saying that, like, who put you in the classes to be vocally trained? Was it mom? Was it dad? Was it you?
No, but we had this option at school, to be in this choir. And it was, I honestly, I don't know. I just like, there were a lot of my friends going there. So I guess I just asked to go there as well. So
you see, that goes back to what we're saying. Your friends went there.
Yeah.
Shout out to your friends. Go ahead.
Exactly. And then when I started to take personal lessons, like with a vocal coach, that was my decision, because when I joined my first band, this is when I realized that I was lacking techniques and, proper training, like professional training.
Wow. It's being someone who, I started at a very young age myself, and I'm sure you can relate with this as well, but going through the struggles of, learning how to write music. Do you play any instruments at all?
A little bit of guitar, not so much.
But see, now here's my thing with that. I play a little bit of piano. I'm in my studio now, just unplugged my piano.
Oh.
But I play a little bit of piano, but me being focused as a writer when it comes to rapping, as a lyricist, you being the same thing, even though you don't play any guitar or any instruments, a little bit of guitar. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do you think that makes your ability to write lyrics and your ability to sing that much more better because you're focused on that one thing? What do you think?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. And I think also it makes me think a little bit out of the box compared to someone who knows what's supposed to happen in a song. For example, I remember during the writing process of the first album, there was this song where I wrote vocals that were like not at all supposed to go in that direction for a piano, for example, or for guitar. And I remember the musicians being like, why did you write this? But in the end, it's one of the most played songs. So yeah.
So, when you say most played songs, you mean the ones that you necessarily didn't put all the focus into? Is that what you mean?
No, actually, I'm saying that, for example, when you look at at Spotify, it's one of the favorite songs from the people.
Okay, I got you.
It's very interesting because it's like I was not like, if I was trained, if I went to the conservatory, for example, maybe I would not have come up with this, because I would have thought, no, this is too complicated for a piano to play or for a guitar player. Right.
Man, that's crazy. So you growing up listening to pop and not really, were you into metal growing up? Like,
the most metal I was listening was Avril Lavigne. So,
dude, and that's pop. That's pop.
That's pop, right?
So where I'm going with this is being in all these bands, starting it with even more in 2012. When did you go to when was your first performance? Like as a metal artist, what was your first? Tell me about it.
Oh my God. It was horrible. Okay, my first metal performance was in the area where I grew up, and we booked that show with my band. And first of all, a few days before the actual performance, we tried to contact the promoter and to ask, like, what is the schedule and what are we supposed to do? And he said, oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. I double booked the evening. There's going to be, instead of 2 bands, it's going to be 4 bands. And we were like, yeah, okay, no big deal. But just tell us like what we're supposed to do. And we arrived there on the day of the show. And then he says, okay, guys, you have to decide who plays when. And we're like, oh, all right. So the evening was basically starting around 10, and the last band was supposed to play around 2 in the morning. And no one wanted to play at that point.
Right.
But still we had to decide. And then the band playing at 2, they suddenly tell us that they have no instrument and that we have to lend us ours. So we have to basically wait until the end of their show. It was crazy. It was crazy. And then the promoter forgot to put someone on the entrance to make people pay for the entrance. So halfway through the evening is like, oh guys, I'm so sorry, but the fee that you're supposed to get, it's gonna be only like a little bit less because now I put someone at the entrance, but first some people got in for free. And we're like, oh my God. And there were so many things like this happening. Like, for example, the dinner, that was the craziest thing of the evening. He came with a lamb cut in 2, like half a lamb, and he was like, may I introduce Charlotte? It's our dinner. And we were like, what the fuck? No. It's at that moment we said, okay, there's McDonald's not so far. I think it's a very, very, very good option.
Wait a minute, Melissa, you did not give up a rack of lamb for a Big Mac. Did you do that?
Wait, because first of all, he threw the lamb on the ground, and then they had some kind of oven that was like homemade. It looked like a dragon. I swear I'm not making this up. It looked like a dragon, and they threw this lamb in this weird oven outside. And then there was this guy who was cutting it, and he had this cigarette, and the ashes of the cigarette were falling on the lamb, and then he was cutting it outside, and everyone was coming just with their fingers, like everyone, even the crowds, they were coming and they were just picking some of the. It was like, if this happens in 2021 with the COVID and stuff, these people can get arrested.
Exactly. No one's touching that, dude.
And then the last thing is, when we got on stage, finally, we realized that there was not enough space with all the amps and everything, all the material from every band. So the bass player spent the whole show in the crowd, playing from the crowd. That was my first metal show.
In the crowd?
In the crowd.
Okay.
There's not enough space on stage.
I've got so many questions about that. First of all, that promoter
yeah,
didn't do the best job. We should probably, are you still in contact with this guy?
No, I think, you know what? I heard that he was supposed to go to prison for a lot of stuff. So I don't know what he's doing today.
Man, and I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but for that to be your first metal show where the bass is played in the crowd, you gave up a full rack of lamb for a Big Mac. But I would have done the same thing,
right?
I would have done the same thing, man. But was you performing? How big was the crowd? How big do you think the crowd was? I
don't remember. But it was not so big. It was probably like 100, 150 people.
That's not too bad for your first show. It's not too bad. But yeah, man, that was a crazy story. So did that turn you off from wanting to keep going? Like, dude, is this what it's like?
I think when you see this, you're like, it can only get better from them. From now on, it's only going to get better. And I had experienced other concerts, like from a guest point of view, and I was like, no, it's just an exception.
Right. Well, the reason I asked that is because, I just went to my first metal show, and guys, you have to excuse me because my voice is completely out there. But being a rapper in Atlanta, Georgia, I've performed in front of many people, and I've been to many rap shows, and I want to know if your experience, your first real experience, other than the rack of lamb story, was anything like mine. Because being in hip hop, when you go to a rap show, if someone falls, I'm sorry to say this, but that person's going to get stomped. Going to my first metal show, when you fall, they pick you up. It's all about love. Did you experience the same thing at your first?
Definitely. Yeah. It's people are very friendly, and it's so funny because there's a lot of people who think, oh, it's metal. They praise Satan and it's dangerous there, and they probably take drugs. No, it's all a bunch of teddy bears.
That's it. Melissa, that blew my mind. My mind, because you're right. When listening to it, it's like, man, they're talking about, gutting a lamb and eating its heart out. But when you go there, it's just, you said it right. It's just a bunch of teddy bears.
Yeah, it is. I'm so glad you had such a good experience, by the way.
Yeah, you can tell my voice. Oh, dude, right. I know this isn't about me, but just let me tell you one crazy thing. So I just bought a brand new phone. I spent a bunch of money on this phone, and I'm wanting to document my being a rapper, going to my first metal show and put it on the YouTube channel.
Mm.
And I'm moshing. I'm talking about moshing, getting punched, punching people, doing everything. And I dropped my phone that I've only had for one day. And I'm like, wait a minute, everyone stop. I'm shining lights and everything. This guy, literally, the security came and moved everybody around, got a flashlight, couldn't find my phone. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll lose my phone. I'm going back to mosh and some dude taps you on my shoulder. Hey, bro, here's your phone. I'm like, dude, that's and I tried to give him money, but he would not take it. Just being at a metal show, man, and seeing how different it is than in the music, it blew my mind. I'm sure you felt the same way, right?
Yeah, of course. I've always experienced things like this. And you just, it gives you faith in people. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So Melissa, let me ask you, you jumping around from many different bands and being settled here with at Infinitum right now. Do you plan on jumping to more bands, or is this your home state? Or you plan on being
No. This band is now, this is the first band where I started the project from the beginning and I shaped it the way I wanted. And then I found the people who were into the same music and spirit. And now it's just evolving and growing. And I just want to go as far as possible with that band.
So you've basically found a home. You found your home. That's awesome. So taking all of that and putting that aside, if you could work with 3 people, dead or alive, who would you work with? Come on.
That question always takes me by surprise.
What you got, Melissa? Dead or alive? 3 people.
Oh, okay. First one, Ariana Grande. Second one.
Look at you, like, wait.
I was like, okay, I know. Muse.
Oh, love Muse, man.
I love Muse.
Yes. Knights of Sidonia, great song.
Supremacy is my favorite.
Yes.
And okay, third, does it have to be musicians or
no? Whatever.
What is it?
This is your interview. Whatever if you want to make a song with Captain Crunch on the cereal box, whatever you want to do. Actors, comedians, anyone.
Yeah. Oh shit! You're gonna have to edit like 20 minutes of thinking out of this video.
No, this is.
Okay. I think I would love to have in the music video, and my God, I don't remember his name exactly. I think it's Ian McKellen, the guy who's playing Gandalf.
Oh, from Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Bruh, you didn't. Hold on, man. Hold on, bruh. We went from Ariana Grande.
I told you, my influences are infinite.
Why Gandalf?
Because how sick would it be to have him on a music video
with the staff and the long beard? That'd be epic. That'd be epic, dude. Especially in one of yours with Infinitum. That would be a great video, dude. Oh my God. Of course. I'm getting visions of it now. That'd be awesome.
Well, if you have any contact.
Why? I think I know why Ariana Grande. If you could make a song with Ariana Grande, would it be with Ad Infinitum, or would it be more of her style, more of the poppy style, or would it be more of the metal style?
I think we should do a double collaboration. Like she gets invited and I get invited on her album.
Double. That works.
Yeah. That's, I mean, she would probably not gain anything from working with us, but
don't say that. Listen, one thing I do want to ask is, how did you come across Napalm Records? How did that come to be? Because everyone I've interviewed from Napalm Records, they all have this elaborate story. I'm just wondering, how did your interaction with Napalm go? How'd that go?
Well, I knew Napalm Records from all the bands I was listening to. And I met someone from Napalm Records on tour, and this is how Bridge of Light got signed. And then when you're signed already, it's easier to submit projects because you're already working with them. But yeah, it's from touring with Napalm Records bands. I mean, bands signed by Napalm Records.
Okay, so I'm assuming they just approached you and said, "Hey, you guys are awesome. Come on."
Actually, I was being a guest singer, and then I think they checked out my band and they thought it was cool, I guess, because I received an email. I couldn't believe it. I received an email. Usually you submit your material. I received an email coming back from tour and I'm like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, we're interested in signing your band. I'm like, what? Yeah.
So what band was this? Was this Even More? Was this?
It was Rage of Light.
Rage. Okay. Wow. See, now that opens a whole nother can of worms. Did they want to just sign Rage of Light, or did they just want to sign you?
Oh, you have to ask them. I have no idea.
Well, is Rage of Light, are they still around? Are they a part of Infinitum?
They are still around, but I'm not in the band anymore. And I don't think they're working with Napalm anymore, but I could be wrong.
Wow. That's interesting. So you came in almost as a guest vocalist with your previous band, actually full vocalist, put that band to the side and then start at Infinitum. That's interesting.
Yeah, actually it's a little bit more complicated, but it's just like we with Bridge of Light, everyone at some point after we released our first album, our lives got in the way and we were taking things slow. And then at some point I started at Infinitum in that moment, and then the guys were ready to make a second record, and I was like, oh shit, I actually didn't see this coming and I don't want to slow you down. So I mean, the story is a little bit longer than this, but we decided that it was better for everyone if they would find a singer that was fully committed to the band, because it's their main project. And back then it became my side project when I started at Infinitum. So yeah, it was better for everyone.
That's crazy. Everyone that I've spoken to from Napalm they've always given us good experiences, and shout out to the Napalm team, because the videos, even the video for Unstoppable, what was it like doing that video? Because all of them are great.
That was so cool. We were shooting in Austria, and and we had an amazing team with lots of fire and lights, and it was just, it was cold, but once you start performing on that set with all the fire and everything going on, you're like, I'm fine. The adrenaline is like warming you up. I don't know.
Man, that's so true. So wrapping it up here. Now, you gave me your top 3 that you would like to work with. Give me your top 3 singers of all time. In your opinion, your top 3 singers of all time.
Well, of all time, it's difficult to say. I mean, I think people will kill me if I don't mention Freddie Mercury, because obviously great singer, and Queen's songs are inspired so many.
I've got a question, and we got Freddie Mercury as you want, but I have to ask you this. So there's this big thing going on called the Mandela effect. Have you ever heard of that? The Mandela?
No.
Okay, so what it is basically people remember things that happened in the past, but when you go back and look at them today, they really didn't happen. It's almost like a shift of universes. So in the song We Are the Champions, Freddie Mercury, we are, at the very end of the song, does he say of the world?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Wait. Does he say it? Of the world? No time for losers, because we are the champions.
Oh fuck, I don't know.
He doesn't. Everyone remembers him saying that. I remember him saying that, but he doesn't. It's crazy. It's like, what happened to it? It's crazy when you go back and look at it.
First thing I do after this talk is listening to the song.
I'm telling you, even like my mom's, she's a big music head. She put me on music, but she's like, yeah, everyone says of the world, but he never said it. But sorry to interrupt. Give me your other two.
Really? My God. Okay. What was the question again?
Hey, this has got to be a great interview. Great interview.
You said the top three
Singers.
greatest singers of all time. Okay.
In your opinion.
So,
in your opinion.
in my opinion. So Freddie.
Mhm.
Oh, Mariah.
I knew you were gonna say Mariah. I knew it.
But she's amazing.
God, I knew that.
Oh, but it's hard to pick only three.
Yeah, I mean, in your opinion.
Okay, I have one from metal because I
Okay.
have to pay tribute to metal still.
If you
Flora
say
Jensen.
dude,
It's okay.
I knew you were gonna say Mariah, and I knew you were gonna say Floor. I knew it. Are you a fan of Nightwish?
You know what? Nightwish got me into metal alongside other bands, but Nightwish was my the band that opened the door for me because it was, accessible for someone who was not used to metal.
Right.
So yeah, Nightwish was one of the bands.
Man, first time hearing, Nightwish is actually our biggest reaction video, hands down. Dude, I love Floor. I love Floor. I love her to death.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so interesting, man. Just talking to someone from across the world, and for you I knew you were gonna say Mariah. I knew you were gonna say Floor, and to have the same. I mean, you've been to the States. Have you ever performed in Atlanta at all?
No.
No. Oh wow.
Well, hopefully soon.
Yeah. Are you guys going on tour anytime soon? I know COVID's probably
we are planning tours for 2022. Now it's about waiting and seeing if it's going to happen or not. But there's definitely talks about touring, and there's even talks about US. But let's see.
Hey, fingers crossed. If you speak it, it will happen. It will happen. So real quick, if you had to, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Okay. What's your favorite? All right. If you had to eat apples for the rest of your life, or if you had to eat oranges for the rest of your life, which one are you going? Apples or oranges?
Oranges.
Okay. If you're stuck on an island for 3 months and you could only bring 3 albums, what 3 albums are you bringing? The faces you're making is like
I would bring The Second Law by Muse.
Mm-hmm. You can pass. You can pass if you want.
No. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make it. I would bring Manifest from Amaranth and Silverthorn by Camelot.
Wow, that's gonna be a interesting 3 months on that island. Very interesting. All right, one more question. Have you ever been skydiving?
No.
Would you?
Wait, skydiving? No. I wanted to, and then I just realized that it's it's an unnecessary risk for me.
So true though, man. All right, last question. I gotta know. All right, Fruity Pebbles or Captain Crunch? I don't know if y'all have that in Switzerland. Do y'all have that? Fruity Pebbles or Captain Crunch? Do y'all have that?
I don't know what any of this is.
Y'all have cereal. It's cereal, like okay, well, maybe not. Maybe that's a US thing.
Send them to me and then I'll tell you. We do another interview where I review them.
Melissa, when I send you some Fruity Pebbles, you're gonna be like, this shit is amazing. It's amazing. Hey, Melissa, this has been an amazing interview. Anything you want to say to the Trash Talkers or to the Ad Infinitum fans? Anything you want to say?
Well, thank you. I understood that it's some people who actually told you to react to us. So thank you so much. It's so cool.
I do have one question that I forgot to ask you. So we take requests from our subscribers to check out. Now that I'm talking to you, what song do you think we should check out next from Ad Infinitum? What should we check out?
From us?
Yes.
Oh, so we have a video coming out on the 26th of October called Animals.
Animals.
This one you should check.
Okay. Yeah. Now give me another song we should just check out from any band.
What
do you got? Give us one.
Okay. You should hear Archangels from Amaranth.
Actually, Let's write that down
Archangel.
right now. And the way we do it is we say, you know, this video was suggested by Melissa Bonny of Ad Infinitum. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Listen, Melissa, this has been an absolute treat. I want to say thank you so much for joining me and having a great conversation. This was great. It
was fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
And looking forward to those cereals that you're going to send me.
I got you. Consider it done. Consider it done. Guys, with that being said, my name's Behringer Hollywood 6, and we are over and out. Deuces.